started off.
Mr. President, did you tell him not to meddle in the next election?
Excuse me, I'm answering this question. You are very rude. So we had a good conversation about many different things, okay?
Did you ask him not to meddle in the next election?
We didn't discuss that. Really, we didn't discuss it. We discussed 5 or 6 things. We also we went into great detail on various things, especially, I would say, the nuclear, especially maybe Venezuela. We talked about North Korea at great length, and pretty much that's it. Also discussed trade. We intend to do a lot of trade with Russia. We do some right now. It's up a little bit, but he'd like to do trade, and we'd like to do trade. And getting along with Russia and China, getting along with all of them is a very good thing. Not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's a positive thing. Getting along with other countries, including your country, by the way. But getting along with countries is a good thing. And we want to have good relationships with every country.
This is Trump claiming that during his latest call with Russian President Vladimir Putin, he didn't bring up the results of the Mueller investigation, which proved conclusively that Russia did indeed meddle in the election. Imagine not talking about Russia attacking our sovereignty. Imagine that not being the only thing you talk about after a 2-year investigation proving that it happened wraps up. That's like talking to Tucker Carlson and him not even mentioning white supremacy and his longing to turn the U.S. into a white ethno-state. But it seems that Sarah Huckabee Sanders and Trump didn't square their stories this morning because the White House press secretary had a different take on the call.
Very, very briefly was discussed essentially in the context of that it's over and there was no collusion, which I'm pretty sure both leaders were very well aware of long before this call took place, something we've said for the better part of 2.5 years, and now they moved on to talk about those topics that I discussed.
In other words, one of these two is lying. And look, in a different time, the White House press secretary or the President of the United States lying to the American people would be a big deal. But at this point, it'd actually be more surprising if we got an honest take. The point is, though, whether Trump and Putin did talk about Russian meddling or whether Trump didn't even have the nerve to bring it up, the president is clearly more than happy to give Putin a pass. And the White House can try and obfuscate the facts, claiming that Trump is totally exonerated because he wasn't charged by Mueller. But remember, collusion is not criminal conspiracy, and Mueller was only looking for the latter. So the campaign's actions may not have amounted to criminal conspiracy in Mueller's opinion, but there was evidence of collusion, most of it in plain sight. We know that Don Jr., Kushner, and Manafort met with a Russian lawyer at Trump Tower to get dirt on Hillary Clinton. We know that Manafort shared polling data with Konstantin Kilimnik. We know that Mike Flynn had secret conversations with Russian Ambassador Kislyak. We know that Trump asked Russia to hack Hillary's emails because we saw it on national television.
Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing. I think you will probably be rewarded mightily by our press.
So to claim that there was no collusion is to pretend that none of these things exist. The fact that we're desensitized is a testament to just how pervasive crime in this administration has become, but it doesn't make these things not count anymore. Here's the takeaway from all of this. By virtue of Trump kowtowing to Putin, yet again, pretending that there was no meddling, at the conclusion of a 2-year probe proving there was, is A, tacit approval to do it again, and B, proof of just how deferential and subservient Trump is to the Russian president. Despite what Trump claims as his desperate justification to suck up to Putin, we don't need to have a good relationship with Russia. And the reason I say that is because, they just attacked our country. Seriously, if Trump was president during World War II, the guy would have had the Japanese prime minister over for a state dinner within a week of bombing Pearl Harbor. So how about instead of pretending that we need to cozy up to Russia, Trump just stops alienating the rest of the industrialized world who serves as our allies and undermining NATO, the strongest military alliance in history? How about he looks beyond his own personal interest and stops setting a precedent that any adversary can meddle in our election so long as it helps one party over the other? How about he turns all of that schoolyard bullying against Gold Star parents and migrant kids and hurricane survivors and refugees to the autocrats and dictators he so brazenly cozies up to? We don't need Russia. The argument could be made that Russia needs Trump in order to break up the Western world's alliances, and the argument could be made that Trump is doing just that. It's almost like Putin was in it to install Trump because
he'd rather have a puppet as president.